My name is Mary Ellen Wilson. I don't know how old I am. Mama whips and beats me almost every day. I never been kissed by Mama. I am never allowed to play with other children. I never dared to speak to anybody, because if I did, I would get whipped. Whenever Mama goes out, she locks me in the bedroom. I've never been outside.
Hello, I'm Belinda Perkins-Brooks. Welcome to my presentation on an article called Case Shine First Light on Abuse of Children by Howard Markle, MD. This case is about an 8-year-old girl named Mary Ellen Wilson who was the survivor of severe child abuse at the hands of her adopted parents who obtained her illegally when the husband, Thomas McCormick, told the Department of Charities that Mary Wilson was his daughter from a previous marriage. Mary Wilson was forced to work hard labor, was repeatedly beaten, burned, cut by scissors, and locked in closets. Her physical condition became so alarming that neighbors were looking for any means they could to help Mary Wilson out of her situation. They eventually turned to Harry Berg, the head of the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. Mary's case gained worldwide attention and eventually led to the creation of the New York Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. In 1874, there were no laws protecting children from physical abuse by their parents. Statutes against cruelty to animals were said to be used in order to remove Mary from her abusive home. An outcry among the public forced society to realize that the lack of laws protecting the rights of children. In 1874, the New York Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children was established, and it was recognized as the first association protecting the rights of the youngest members of society. Because no laws existed in 1874 to protect children, neighbors of Mary Wilson contacted a leader of the ASPCA to help Mary Wilson, and it was said that animal protective laws were used in the case of Mary Wilson. Mary Wilson's case led to the New York Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children and was followed soon afterwards by the National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children, NSPCC. In 1874, the case of Mary Ellen Wilson was the first documented case of child abuse in the United States. It took the ASPCA to bring the case of a very abused child before a New York court. Mary Ellen Wilson's case was important because it led to the creation of the New York Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. In conclusion, the Society for the Protection of Cruelty to Animals recognized Mary Wilson as a vulnerable member of the animal kingdom, therefore needing the protection of the state. Following the court's finding and the massive media coverage, the state of affairs of children improved, as children became regarded as people of value and therefore needing protection. This case led to the creation of the New York Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children, and thus to the NSPCC. This case was unprecedented for its time because there were no protection laws in place in the United States. We learned early in this class that children were considered chattel and therefore the property of their fathers, and no laws were in place restricting parents from abusing their children. It is also worth noting that the Department of Charities, who placed Mary Wilson with the McCormicks, was done without legal documentation. I imagine there were no monitoring practices in place during the late 1800s. What I have learned. There were no laws to protect children from abuse until the late 1800s. Mary Ellen Wilson was the first documented case of child abuse in the United States, putting a human face on child abuse. Mary Ellen Wilson's case ultimately led to the creation of the child welfare and the foster care system that we know today. Thank you very much.